And in charge of this game, 53-year-old Kevin Stott, who extends his extraordinary record of having taken charge of a post-season match in every season of Major League Soccer. Jordan Morris, held up by Eddie Segura, who, just to remind you, is starting at right back tonight with Tristan Blackman as a central defender. Jovin Jones onto the favoured foot. Ladero. Nuhu's gone off in pursuit.
Ruidiaz, he's going to combine in those spots. Just watch for 90 minutes the relentless pursuit of space and trying to get touches from Nicholas Ladero. It completely unbalances you from Shane O'Neill.
Ladero trying to tee up Morris.
Good tackle.
Blackman, the defender that came across. Here is Ladero. Harvey. Spirit of adventure. Christian Torres. Ruidiaz spots the goalkeeper off his line, or so he thought. Francis Niega wasn't far from home. Remember, was released by the Sounders at the end of last season as a midfield player. Played more at right back this season. Here's Ruidiaz, and Jordan Morris is coming in. And Ladero, crisply, cleanly executed by the reigning MLS Cup champions. And 18 minutes in, the Sounders hit the front.
Talked about in the pregame where he's always just operating in spaces that can open you up. He's never in front of you. He's never stationary as a number 9. But then having the ability, there's no extra touches. Pick up your head, find Jordan Morris, and then the layoff here to Nicholas Ladero on wet turf to allow him to hit it first time. Seattle has been on the front foot. They have dominated possession, and they've got the early goal.
Nuhu. He's given it away to Vela, and that's a rash challenge. It's a penalty. And Nuhu does have these mad moments in him.
Right after scoring a goal, and Nuhu just overcommits. But Carlos Vela sets him up. He sets up Nuhu as if he's just going to take a touch and allow him to come in, but it was the touch by Nuhu.
It's going to fall instead to Carlos Vela. And Vela with, well, let's not be too harsh, but a pretty awful penalty.
I think he felt like Stephen Fry was going to overcommit.
In context, it's the 5th penalty that Carlos Vela has failed to convert in his career. He scored 25.
You know, you heard Schmetzer and his staff just talk about Nuhu working on crossing after training for about 6-7 weeks. And then all of a sudden he delivers that ball against Vancouver and they're like, oh, there it is. I think it's just more of a question of consistency versus having the ability.
And now, potentially, from the free kick, to do more damage. But he actually hit his own man, Gomez Andrade. Atuesta. Bit of time and space for Harvey. And Vela! And Nuhu did well that time in tracking Vela.
And this is where Carlos Vela can absolutely kill you. The ball's wide, so as Nuhu looks across, he's looking at that ball. So Carlos Vela drops in right behind Bradley Wright Phillips. Quite honestly, John, Carlos Vela could have done better with this.
Not played much in the first 2/3 of the season. Segura. Torres. Challenge well enough timed by Alex Roldan. Harvey with the block.
And it's the 7 goals in 6 playoff games. That is just...
Yes, they're worth double the money.
Oof.
Ladero yet again. Christian Roldan digging out his brother. And in towards Ruidiaz! Murillo did just about sufficient.
If Vela delivers this at the right angle, this could be a nightmare for Stefan Fry.
He's given that every chance.
Oh, great defending.
Nuhu, wasn't it, with the flicked header?
Unreal defending from Nuhu here. 16-year-old Torres and the 19-year-old Apoku play. When Vela wants to drop in, you play into his feet. He's not going to play in behind the 2 center backs of the Sounders. They've got to provide some width and some verticality to this attack.
Nuhu's name being shouted from the sidelines. Atuesta. That was Torres who had the shot. And who wins a corner. Vela. Header by Atuesta. This Tuesday in portions of the country becomes Wednesday. Audi 2020 MLS Cup Playoffs. And here is Nuhu. And there's the chance for number 2, which was such a good chance, such an inviting chance, and such a bad miss by Jordan Morris.
Pressing the tempo, you've seen Nuhu get forward. Ladero just kind of baits Blessing here, and Nuhu's touch right there gets it. And Jordan Morris is in a great spot here for the 2020 Best 11 selection.
Now it's João Paulo. It's almost as much of a let-off as Vela missing the penalty in the first half for LAFC. 6 in the penalty area for LAFC and for Atuesta. To an area of uncertainty for the goalkeeper. There's Blessing.
You can come out and kind of give a little bit of a flat performance, and they've done that. Now, in saying that, Jordan Morris should have scored the 2nd goal. I understand that, but Seattle's got to get into this game the way they were the first half, because they completely dictated the game. It's that man in front of him, Jovan Jones, picking up a spot inside that opens up this space down the channel. Another good ball.
Ruidiaz. This is going to come for Morris. Deflected onto the frame of the goal. LAFC living perilously.
Back to that opportunity again. Another ball from about 35, 40 yards out. Such a wonderful and fighting ball for a center forward like Ruidiaz. And as Murillo comes over here.
Seattle's first half possession over 60%, currently 45 in the second half. Morris and Ladero!
Wow.
This game could have been done and dusted these past 5 minutes.
First runner, but the second runner have just been such on point from Seattle. Great little run here from Christian Roldan. How about this ball from Jordan Morris? It's one to see the pass, but it's another to execute it at the right pace on wet turf. For the second time in the last 45 seconds, Seattle hits the post.
Alex Roldan. Jordan Morris looking for an angle. Game Columbus against Nashville. João Paulo. Deflection on that. Needs a corner. Ladero. It's Ruidiaz!
Just a half a chance, a half yard, that's all he needs. No extra touches. He's prepared for this deflection right here. He sets his body up for the perfect technique. And with defenders in front of Cisniega, there's absolutely nothing he can do other than picking the ball out of the back of the net. What a finish from Ruidiaz. His 8th goal in his 7th career playoff game.
It's Kay. Now Blackman. Latif Blessing. Carlos Vela and Atuesta. Poked out a left leg, and that left leg has become a lifeline for LAFC.
And you needed some kind of penetration through the middle. Bob Bradley and LAFC needed it all night long. But as Blessing plays this ball to Carlos Vela, great run from Atuesta. It's late, it's out of the midfield, it's extremely difficult to pick up. And with this kind of ball delivered in right in front of Stefan Fry, on to Wester with any kind of touch, LAFC is back into this one.
Nicolas Ladero. It's a good spot for Ruidiaz. He's got Morris inside and ahead of him, and Jordan Morris goes all the way through and in all probability wins the game for the Seattle Sounders.
How good is this from Nicolas Ladero and Ruidiaz? The understanding of space and movement from their number 9 up front is of world-class quality in Raul Ruidiaz. Off the shoulder, stay onside, El Munir can't find him, and then just wait that split second and play the ball right into the stride of Jordan Morris. Great finish into space. But that little combination from Ruidiaz and Nicolas Ladero, absolute killer in Major League Soccer Cup playoffs.
Here's Vela. Vela was going to ground in stages, looking all the time at referee Kevin Stott. Vela with that kick. Swept from his presence by Gomez Andrade. Blessing. Vela. And the header from Mark Anthony Kaye, who turns and looks at the referee's assistant as if to say, was I onside? Kevin Stott has gone to have a look.
And it's got to be clear and obvious. I think he's off.
It's clear and obvious enough for Kevin Stott. So Mark Anthony Kaye's goal is ruled out. Third consecutive season where they've had moments of excellence, indeed brilliance, in the regular season, and then have come up short in the playoffs, albeit with a big asterisk this year because of the missing Rossi Rodriguez. Vela and Atuesta.
They can take a lot from that, and I can guarantee you this, that Schmetzer's going to be forewarned, because that performance, other than 2 moments of naive defending, they were up for it.
One can only salute and admire the sheer consistency of Brian Schmetzer and the Seattle Sounders. It's Seattle against Dallas once again. Luchi Gonzalez and his mixture of young bucks and seasoned pros next to stand in the way.